Alright, so I have integrated in the new Apex page, and as you can see now, if I change this, it redirects back to the asset properly. So that issue is resolved. Now, as I am integrating this more into the code, there's a couple other fields that I had commented out. The Visualforce page that were created for story and created for project. This is basically just a formula, no big deal. But these refer to some other. This is a lookup field on the actual asset itself that I'll show you right here. Um, so in the asset, it's called created for story. It's just a lookup to this object called story. I didn't want to include that in the challenge, and because it's a lot of other dependencies that come in. So now that I've uncommented that, all I've done in my Visualforce page is simply uncommented these two lines. They're in the current asset property or field or variable. Alright, so then in my controller, I have in the nice little class method you created here called getAsset. I added these two here, so we're there. Now, as I was doing a code review, this was kind of interesting on how you did this. Whereas in the page, before you're doing the remoting, you're actually escaping out the strings from the form itself. So you're taking all the values in the form, basically, it looks like, and that's how the data. And then in here, you're trying to deserialize them. So the values here is I put this debug statement in, and then you're looping through and creating a map, and then you're coming down here and populating in the current asset and things of that nature. And so that all looks to be decent. Now, what's happening is when I go ahead and create a new asset, let me put in some values here. And we'll go through here, and if I just create a value here and then hit save, the value is not being saved here for created for story. So what I looked at is this is the string that comes back, and if you look at, so here's the created for story, n equals basically this encrypted value, not encrypted but encoded value. So it looks like that, I think it's coming through the form correctly, but it's not storing it. So I'm guessing this deserialization process is a little wrong. So my question to you is if we want to add other fields like this, what do I need to do to maintain this? It looks like when you're coming through down here, of course, you got asset and you've got contributor. So if I added a new object that we're storing, I'd have to do a new one of these. But in this case, it's just an existing field on the asset object itself. Based on this, it didn't look like I should have to do anything because it would hit this line here and it should be fine coming through, I'm thinking. And I'm guessing on the Visualforce tag itself this is the field name. I think I just found it. That's ingenious. Okay, so I thought I had it, but not quite. So I guess my question is when I add these fields into here, it looks like I think this ID needs to be probably the field name, so that when you're looping through into here and doing this, it'll map in correctly. Is that a correct statement?